Tech Skill Tuesday. So today, I said I was going to be going over most of the ground options available in Smash 4, and I will be doing just that. Just really going over with my good old hand cam. Pretty much the only thing we're going to be looking at is, of course, the just the C-stick, or my bad, the analog stick. That's really all we're going to be looking at today, and a bunch of the other things that come with it. I actually need to get a new controller, honestly, because mine's actually starting to die out, which is no good. So, and just really quick, let me make a post on so, I'm gonna pull up the chat. Alright, and I guess let's get started. So, I guess, for now I'll be going over one of the most basic options. Of course, I mean, before you do all the dashing, like all the dashing options and everything, you have to learn what you can do out of the most basic option, which is walk. Easily, hands down, this is one of the strongest options in Smash. For a good number of reasons. Whoops. Let's actually set my controller back to basic controls. Just let me do this really quick and hopefully I won't destroy myself again. Okay. Almost there. We almost got it. Almost in there. Okay. Alright, and we are in there. Alright, good. I just want to get some game sound for myself. Okay. So, one of the most awesome things, of course, about walking is that you have the ability to do every single option. Any option that you are able to do while standing, you are able to do while walking. And of course, that includes smash attacks, rolling, spot dodging. What's nice is that walking, as you can see, it also carries a bit of your momentum, which a lot of people don't realize. There's even some small things. For example, when you, let's say you have momentum going to the right, like that, the turnaround animation, if you keep holding in that direction, the momentum will actually keep going during the turnaround animation, allowing some characters to go farther, which Fox is probably one of the best examples. Martha's up there as well. During the turnaround animation, the character actually slides, which results in pretty much a waveland of sorts. This has been there ever since Brawl, so I mean, this is nothing new. This might be new to all of you. Well, Pika Pika, we'll see. Right now I normally do these tutorials until about like around 8ish, and I'm free afterwards, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Normally I just, I do my lesson, and once the lesson's over, free to Q&A and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, if you're brand new, this is actually a perfect time for you to watch and listen. If I just play you, you might not learn anything, which is the terrible thing. Alright, so, again, one of the biggest things that you could do in this game is, of course, walking. Like I said before, your walking carries a lot of momentum. As you can see, a character will move forward, probably the best example, of course, if I use Mario. Like always, he's hands down the best training partner in this game. Just because of his ability to throw fireballs. Also, I completely forgot about this stage, which easily one of the best tracks in this game. So, we got 7 to attack, and hopefully start throwing fireballs like a good Mario. Nope, not that close. So as you can see, like, even when you're walking, it still carries a lot of your momentum. I guess this. Oh, that's right, I think I have to set him to level 9. So as you can see, like I said before, walking is a great way to get started. Even just walking around everywhere, you're able to do a lot of options. And like I said before, you could pretty much do anything just because you're walking. Which is what makes that option so great, is that even while you're holding forward on the analog stick literally the entire time, you can just keep going. Which allows you to do easy power shields. Just, oops. Once he stops doing that. Ah, Mario, please. And just doing that alone is also a lot of pressure on the opponent as well. When they're not able to, you know, approach you just because you're power shielding literally everything that you're doing. It's, at least for me, that's a way that I love bullying a lot of players. Is just by literally walking at them and just tapping the shield button as I get closer, and it makes them panic, do something stupid. And like I covered in one of my earlier lessons, is that if you power shield something, you're only stuck in there for 3 whole frames, which, you know, this game runs at 60 FPS, so 3 out of 60, that's like, you're stuck in there for 1/20th of a second, which is absolutely nothing. So again, there's that, and of course, out of a walk, you can pretty much do a dash. When you do dashes, unfortunately, it's not as free as walking, because the only things you're able to do while, of course, dashing is you can do pivots, which is pivot forward tilt, pivot grab, and then you could also do pivot forward smash. You also have the option of doing a dash attack at the end as well. Some characters, Fox is again one of the better examples. If you go into a run, which is then another different thing. Oh, and of course, when at the beginning of this is called a foxtrot. Oops. Foxtrots is just you tapping the stick, resulting in the character doing their initial dash animation. This is them running. Running is not them performing a dash animation, and these are 2 completely separate things, just because of the way that they act. When you're foxtrotting everywhere, you could actually go into another foxtrot fairly soon, allowing for extremely fast movement across the stage if timed correctly. Some characters, of course, are going to have an easier time with this. Then, I guess going into that, there is then dash dancing, where normally this is brought from Melee, where you know, you just go back and forth like that. But the thing is, in Melee, the windows are a lot wider, so you could have literally the character like go flip themselves back and forth like this in an animation, and it's an easy way to fake out a lot of players. But in this game, however, the best thing to do is to foxtrot one way, and then the moment that you do the foxtrot at the end, you start up another one. And when you start up another one, you cancel it into another dash, like so. Whoops. It's something I'm still personally practicing on, but... Now, the purpose of this, though, is that, like I said before, you're actually pretty limited out of foxtrotting, as it limits the number of options that you're able to do. However, like I said earlier, if you incorporate the skill of perfect pivoting into your gameplay, oops. You can actually cancel the initial dash and of course do a perfect pivot, which, as I've explained before, perfect pivoting is an extremely powerful option, allowing characters to do literally anything they want. So as you see right there, I do a taunt out of a perfect pivot, and usually when you taunt, you're only able to actually do that only during a standing animation or a walking animation. And if you're doing it during a standing or a walking animation, that means you're pretty much free to do literally whatever you want. So, I mean, this is also one of the best options for approaching, depending on your character. If your character has a good perfect pivot, you can just, you know, perfect pivot shield everywhere. Some characters don't even need this, as the, well, I'll be getting into that. So, from a foxtrot, if you hold it, your character will then go into a running animation. During this running animation, you, of course, so, let's see here. Let's do it at half speed. So, right there, those are foxtrots. But once the character actually starts a slide animation, that's usually when they start running. Usually it's like, I don't know the exact frames for the transition from foxtrots to runs, but usually when you start running, that is usually when a character is able to cancel into a shield. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, during a foxtrot, you can also, you can't immediately go into shield as quickly as some. One of the best examples, of course, is Roy, who, if you do a foxtrot, or if you do a dash and try to hold shield like this, see if I dash and press the shield button, the shield will pop up as soon as possible, because like I explained before, the shield will come out in one frame. So, if you dash right there, that is pretty much when you're able to shield. Some characters don't even have the luxury. They have to travel like almost this far before they're able to shield. So, I'm lucky. I got a good character that has this that has that. However, every character is able to cancel their dash or their foxtrot into a roll. So, which of course results in stuff like this. This is actually a really good good starting mind game for a lot of players. It's an easy way to fake out your opponent, and it's a good form of movement, in my opinion. It's a good way to bait them out. So, if you use all these tricks, in tandem, of course, with walking, like foxtrotting, perfect pivoting, and of course, doing a run. When you do a run, however, you're actually not. Your only options from here is, of course, to shield, dash attack, grab, pivot grabs, and of course all the options that you have, of course, when pivoting. You could do perfect pivot tilt, you could do pivot tilts, pivot specials, and pivot forward smash. Of course, you're also able to do, oops, see if I can do it. There we go. You could also jump cancel, of course, which is whenever you're able to jump, you could, always cancel your move into whatever's jump cancelable. There's only a couple things that are jump cancelable in this game, which is up smashes and up Bs. You used to be able to jump cancel grabs, but that's not the case anymore.
Move your car.
So, oh, sorry about that. Had a unexpected visitor. So, but that, just those aspects alone, just give you an extremely strong ground game. And if, of course, if you combine it, oops. Of course, it will take some practice. I mean, this isn't something that you get down in a single day. But with a lot of practice, I think characters that have extremely strong dashes, such as Fox, Roy, Little Mac, and a few other characters, these are definitely something that they could take advantage of. I know that Sheik is also another one with extremely strong dashes. I believe that Sonic is another one who could also take advantage of stuff like this. And of course, there's a lot of tricks that you could do out of perfect pivots, which is in another video I explained earlier. So I mean, in the perfect pivot, like I said before, you're able to pretty much do literally whatever you want. And of course, learning all these things, like I said before, will, if you incorporate them into a great air game, you will, it just helps make you a better player. If you learn all the stuff about the ground game that you can, learning all the options that you're able to do out of runs and foxtrots. Of course, this is all flashy stuff though, and I do think that hopefully that players will incorporate some of the stuff over time. It'll make the game a lot faster. But again, it's difficult. I mean, I still have trouble with it. So, but again, if we're able to get stuff like this down, I'm getting to the point where my fingers just, I don't think they can keep up as much anymore. I gotta probably pick a slower or easier character. But, and of course, techniques like these will affect your analog stick with just the sheer amount of movement. And again, it gives you a whole lot of options and makes your character look extremely threatening. And on top of that, you do have a lot of options out of it that they just player can't ignore. You have pretty much, if you do perfect pivot out of like all these foxtrots, oops, or if you cancel a dash dance into a perfect pivot, or yeah, if you just cancel a dash dance into a perfect pivot, you literally have all the options that you do while grounded And of course your character is moving on the ground at a high pace, which is what makes him, what makes this character extremely strong. Uh-oh. Pardon me, guys. Let me edit my topic here really quick. Skill Tuesdays. Pretty much all I really wanted to say. There's not much to this, and of course, like I said before, all the options that you have while grounded, you're able to do. And of course, this is something that will take a bit of time. This is not a technique that you, of course, can master in like a single day. If you can, oh man, you're good. You can incorporate all these techniques into your gameplay. And of course, when it comes to, at least for me, when it comes to foxtrotting, it's best to end it in either you want to go into a run, so you can go into a shield or roll. You don't want to just foxtrot. You want to pretty much transition into something else from it, which transitions into either a run or oops. Oh man. I like transitioning it into perfect pivots, because to me that's an easy option. You can just foxtrot back and forth, which for some characters, it's extremely useful. Looks extremely slick. And, it's great ground movement. It's absolutely lovely ground movement. Not only does it look flashy, of course, if you learn how to incorporate it into your gameplay, it will make you an absolute monster, I feel. Some characters, of course, not all characters can benefit from this. Not all characters have amazing dashes or amazing foxtrots, and I will try to see if I can cover that. See what they can do out of it. For example, Ganondorf. Oh, the Dwarf. He's probably one of the biggest offenders of this. As you can see, his dashes aren't amazing. And for me, I don't think there's really a point in perfect pivoting unless you want to go for back airs or short hop up airs. But even then, it just doesn't even hit some characters. Or it's not even worth it. Some characters prefer to even just roll everywhere. Though, of course, that brings me back to my first point. Walking is one of the most powerful tools in the game. Because out of a walk, you can pretty much perfect shield everything that your opponent does. Kind of imagine them like grapplers. They like grapplers in Street Fighter. Their options while running or while dashing in Street Fighter aren't amazing. They yeah, and they don't have too many movement options either to get across the stage like some other characters. So the best thing to do is just walk forward. Try to block out everything that a character can do and react. That's what makes some of these characters extremely tough to play. because you just have to walk forward and just don't be scared. You have to like not be scared of anything your opponent does. You just have to try and shield everything that they do on time. You have to make predictions. And that's what makes slow characters like this hard. Again, that's why when it comes to grounded movement, this is absolutely amazing. It beats out a lot of projectile characters as well, especially if you can power shield literally everything that they do. Most characters could even try to come at you from the air with aerial fireballs, but that's not even a good option, considering if you're on the ground, oh damn, Shred. You generally have a very good advantage over them. Because while they are in the air, they are of course limited to their specials, which will probably function differently while in the air. And then on top of that, they have their 5 air attacks, and then they also have their air dodge, and that's pretty much all they have. Well, of course, if you're on the ground, you have access to shielding, rolling, spot dodging, all of your tilts, all of your ups, all of your smash attacks, and then you, of course, could even just short hop and aerial them back, which is pretty godlike. Some characters, though, do have safe options when come from the air, like Sheik, but again, perfect shielding beats that. Of course, you would have to be on point when fighting against some of the top tier Sheiks in the country, because they love to space their forward airs literally perfectly, so that they're out of an ungrabbable range and still within a range to punish you, and pretty much perfect to space forward airs, and you only have like a 9-frame window to try and hit them out once they hit the ground. It's such a small amount of time. And realistically, because you power shield it, then you're stuck in there for only 6. So for 3 frames, if you power shield it and immediately did an attack out of it, so then you only have a 6-frame window. So it's rough. It's really rough to punish that move. But hey, some characters could do it. Mewtwo might actually be able to do it with the range of his tilts. Ganondorf could do it with the range of his tilts, so as long as you're able to reach a character like that within such a small amount of time, you can do it. But again, even against characters like, say for example, you're having a lot of trouble on for Glory, against characters like Toon Link or Link, if you have a nice perfect connection where you are able to power shield back to back, you could just walk at them. Even with characters like Bowser, the strongest tool that you could do is just walk forward. If you walk forward at someone and just tap the button at the right time, you can easily gain stage control. Stage control is such a big portion of this game, and if you could obtain center stage, you're winning. Oops. And then, of course, depending on the move that hits you, you can just immediately and instantly react. So what they're doing, it's beautiful. That's why walking is such an underrated option in this game. You can just walk at your opponents, and then, of course, from a walk, you could even turn into a run. So again, it's so good, and it's just walking is, again, it's underrated, it's underused. A lot of players prefer to just roll or run everywhere and just shield. Because if you're stuck in shield, let me tell you, you do not have too many options out of shield. Running a shield might be super powerful, because shield is an amazing option in this game, don't get me wrong. But out of a shield, you only have up smash, up B, your aerials, pretty much anything you could do out of a jump, your rolls, and your spot dodges. That's all you got. I mean, you could jump out. If your character has like amazing aerials, use them. But again, that's limiting you to only like maybe 5 attacks, maybe even less. For example, some characters can't even do short hop aerials out of it without experiencing buttload of landing lag. So again, walking is amazing. You can, and even then, from a walk, you still have all the options that you have available when you're running. Look at that. Perfect pivot, or pivot grabs of Bowser, absolutely amazing. Oh, I guess I'll share a small secret with you guys for those that are here. If you have your C6 set to attack, this doesn't work when it's set to smash, but if you have your C6 set to attack, you could do perfect pivot grabs, dash cancel pivot grabs. Pretty much you start dash, a dash attack, and it's still in this game. You could actually cancel a dash attack with a grab, and that will actually increase the grab range, because grabs are different in this game. If you didn't, for those of you that don't realize, the frame difference between the standing grab, dash grab, and a pivot grab are all different. Pivot grabs for some characters have extremely long ranges, but of course their start frames do vary. So, and if you cancel your dash attack, you could do pretty much perfect pivot grabs. Bowser, it isn't extremely noticeable, but on characters like Fox, it's absolutely amazing. And of course, one of the other famous options, of course, is instant dash attacks. You can do them from a standing position, which is absolutely godlike. See, from here, like I said, just standing or walking, you could do pretty much anything that you want, and you can go straight into a dash attack. You could even do this with your C6 set to smash if you just want to do the instant dash attacks. But again, dash, turn around, so dash attack, then turn around Z. Pretty much you just push it all almost simultaneously, as you can see here. Let me get this set up so you guys can see. So. Of course, there is a minimum range to it, but I mean, but yeah, just again, when you're walking, you have a lot of options on the ground. That these are things that not a lot of players know about. Most of them focus on their aerial game because of Melee, where the large portion of it is just shuffling around everywhere, or using a bunch of your aerials, considering that most of the aerials that players throw out are fairly lagless, and not too many players focus on having a strong ground game, where it's extremely strong in this version. don't even focus on it as much as I really should. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, just use a strong combination of dashes, foxtrots, walking. For the fast characters, of course, the combination of foxtrotting, dashing, perfect pivoting rolls will make an incredibly strong and intimidating ground game. And this is, of course, not including what you can do with your aerial game. Your aerial game, if you combine this with it, can be extremely strong. You could have an amazing presence on the stage, and you could just literally run circles around your opponent. Something I need to practice. It's perfect pivot into pivot grabs, pivot wave grabs to be precise. Pretty much covers this whole lesson. I mean, it wasn't. Sorry about this lesson being kind of short, guys, but it's self-explanatory. If you're a character that has an amazing dash, try to abuse it. I mean, if your character has some strong ground game, that should be something that you guys should be trying to incorporate into your gameplay. But of course, if your character is slow, you want to learn how to use walking. Walking is incredibly strong for a lot of characters that, like I said, it goes incredibly underused. But yeah, that should be it for today's lesson. Again, strong ground game. You want a strong ground game, and try to mix it in with the game that you already have. Like I said, a lot of characters focus on their aerial play, where that's where a lot of good moves come from. But again, remember, you have some characters have extremely strong ground moves too, and you have to learn to take advantage of that. Characters like Bowser or Donkey Kong, heck, even Little Mac, you have to know how to use your ground moves, and that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you're really able to at least take something from this. So, right. And I guess I'll be taking a break for now. It is about 6:45, and that'll do it for today. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and